Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of Nation Wave, and this is day 3 of the August daily draw. So as we start the weekend, let's see what message we get. And I'll be taking the first card from the Tower of the Witch's Garden, followed by an oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch Lammas Oracle. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. We have the Judgment card. I feel what this card is saying to us today is that we're being called to something, and we're responding. And just look at the generations here. All the different, you can't see it, I was looking at it and you can't see it. All the different generations here listening to the call. And whatever stage of life we're in, we may hear certain calls by the universe to do certain things at certain times in our life. And it could be to do with our own path. It could also be part of a generational thing that we are continuing the work of those that's gone before, and that we are going to leave behind a legacy for those that come after us. So it's a little bit like the legacy card, which is what I call the legacy card, which is like the Ten of Pentacles. But this is more of a deeper, more spiritual sort of sense of calling and purpose. And we may be beginning a new stage of life, and we're being called to that, and we're called to a new stage of life, and maybe that calling is different to what we've been doing before, or it has a different aspect to it because we're at a different stage. When we're younger, it may be focused more on certain areas, but then as we get older and then we go into our latter days, our elder sort of years, the focus is going to be on something else. It may still have a lot of the things we've been doing through our lives, through our spiritual path, through our calling, but the calling is to express it perhaps a little bit differently. We're still expressing the same principles, but the manner and style may change a little according to the nature of the phase into which we are starting. So I hope that's clear. And this is not something necessarily I've thought about a lot, but it's what I feel I'm getting from this card. That it doesn't matter what stage of life you're at. We all have different points in our lives that this is this part of our lives. This is another stage of our lives. And this is another stage of our lives. And all of those have a certain calling to them, a different perspective, a different focus. So whatever it is that the phase of life that we are entering now, we need to understand its nature and its purpose so that we can fulfill it. And when we've done our part, there may be aspects to it that we leave behind for future generations. So let's listen out for that calling and understand the nature of that calling. We may hear the trumpet sound, but what kind of note or notes is the trumpet playing for us? It may be different for me as it will be for you. There will be a trumpet sound, but the notes that the trumpet is playing, the way that it sounds, may sound different to me as it will do to you, because we may be at different stages, different forms of purpose for our lives at this stage. And we need to hear the message that is true for us, and lift up our hands, or the lifting of our hands, to reach up to it, to answer that call and say, yes, I take that call. It's like we're picking up the celestial phone and say, and the universe is ringing us to call us to something, and we're answering that, and we're hearing the message, and then we're responding. So if we're hearing that call to a new phase, let's listen to it. Let's understand what we're being called to. That's important. And then answer that call by doing what it is that we're being called to do. Accepting that call. And that's what I believe this card is saying to us today. Okay, so let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Prayers to the earth. And isn't it funny how she has her hands up as well, reaching out? There's an energy thing there, isn't there, by lifting your hands. Become present with the blessings you already have. May gratitude fill your heart. We've had this kind of similar message as well before, that even as we're beginning something new, we need to acknowledge and become present with what we already have now. Not necessarily what we're going to have as we proceed along our path, but what we have now, what we already have. We need to acknowledge that and be thankful. And as we do that, we prepare the way for what is to come. So let's answer that call. Let's lift our hands in acceptance and readiness and move on to that new phase. Okay, so that is today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 4. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.